tal amigos? Muy buenas noches, bienvenidos a su programa Yarda Cero. Es miércoles, son las 9 de la noche y eso solo significa una cosa, es hora de hablar de la NFL. Tenemos invitadazo de lujo el día de hoy que todavía está tras bambalinas, al ratito se lo vamos a mostrar. To all the people watching the United States, I want to tell you that I am going to introduce the show in Spanish briefly and then we are going to switch to English because we have a great guest. I know that you already know who he is. But, let me finish with the introduction in Spanish. Mi querido Pez, ¿qué te podrá decir el invitado? ¿Qué se sentirá como fan de cualquier equipo tener una placa en Canton, Ohio, donde va a estar por el resto de los días?
Esto es increíble, la verdad es que tener tan de cerca, y lo voy a poner en estas palabras, una celebridad, porque así lo puedo etiquetar, nosotros que somos fans y para toda la audiencia que muchos de ellos están en este canal, pues el ser reconocido, ¿no? Con este reconocimiento ha de ser extraordinario. Y bueno, como bien apuntas, ahorita cambiaremos al inglés, pero bueno, quería darle la bienvenida a toda la audiencia que nos escucha en español, and of course, our English audience, of course. Pretty welcome to here to the show.
Thank you, David. We are going to switch to English briefly. ¿Cómo estás, mi querido Neil Petzula, upstate New York, in the house? How you doing, my friend? Stick around. We're going to switch to English in just a couple of seconds when we introduce our guest tonight. Don't go anywhere. Mi querido Roberto, el oso pirata, ¿cómo estás? Tenemos una celebridad el día de hoy. Tú que eres fan de los Osos de Chicago, estarás de acuerdo conmigo.
Es correcto, no todos los días puedes entrevistar a alguien que está inmortalizado en el Salón de los Fans. Entonces, es una emoción muy grande el poder estar aquí. Aunque no parezca que estoy emocionado, pero me estoy conteniendo para no parecer fan. Y pues bueno, también es la primera vez que estoy en Yarda Cero y me tocó estar en inglés.
¿Es la primera vez que estás en Yarda Cero? No puede
Sí,
ser.
no me había tocado.
¿Cómo crees?
No, pues entonces doble bombo.
Es correcto,
platillo, ¿no?
es correcto.
No, pues doble invitadazo de lujo, Roberto el Oso Pirata. No se pierdan su show todos los lunes a las 8:30 de la noche por sus canales. Ya saben, Oso Pirata en todos lados, en Twitter, en Instagram,
for
en
the
Facebook.
people in English, thank you, and I want to try my best to, I don't know how to say it. I'm very excited right now.
Very good. Thank you very much. Well, for all the people watching in the group The Bears, welcome to all the people watching in the United States of America. You know who we have today. I am going to introduce him. It's time to talk to him. I know that he's tired because he had a very agitated weekend. It was his anniversary. He went to a basketball game. I follow him. I follow him in Facebook, in Instagram, and everywhere. And I have the pleasure to say that he follows me too. So, nothing further to say, but to tell you that today we have a person with us. We have a very hardcore Bears fans who is immortalized in Canton, Ohio. He is the newest Bears inductee in the Hall of Fame of the fans, the fourth Hall of Fans. He is Terence Young.
What's up, fellas? What's up?
Hello, my friend. How are you doing tonight?
Doing awesome. Thanks for having me on the show tonight.
No, on the contrary, thanks for accepting the invitation. You have, saludos from Tijuana.
Nice.
Have you ever been to Tijuana, Terence?
No, I definitely want to get down there, though. But no, I have not been to Tijuana yet.
Very good. Thank you very much. Well, Nid Petzula, he says, a Hall of Famer. Yeah, we have a Hall of Famer here. He's going to show us. I hope that he brought his ring with him so he can show it. Oh, my God, look at that.
It's a must.
Look at that, great. I mean, we have a picture here with his plate in Canton, but we're going to leave that for later. Clap, clap, clap. Of course, Terence Young is in the house. Thank you very much. I didn't have the chance to look at your show live with Brandon Hyatt, but I already watched the rerun and it was a great interview too. Nice. So Katie says, hello, Terence. It's so good to see you surrounded by my fellow Mexicans. Did you know that you have fans in Latin America, Terence?
I tell you what, I did, but not at first, but going through this process. And one of the things you learn is, being a diehard Bears fan and going through the whole Ford Hall of Fame process is there's Bears Nation everywhere. And literally, you know, I've had support from all over, people that I've met before, people that were close friends, family, and then people I've never met before, connected on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And that's when I started finding out like how many people were just such diehard fans, and all the support I got across the country, across the nation, is amazing. So, you know, first and foremost, I just want to thank you guys, one, for having me on the show, but, you know, also to all of the fans that supported me through the process, continue to support me, show me nothing but love. Bears Nation is real. So you guys are the real dogs out there. So I appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Terence. And I know that my co-hosts have questions for you, but I have to start. I mean, I want to start with my first question. So, Terence, you are immortalized in Canton now. That's going to be forever. I mean, you left your mark in this world already, and especially in the Hall of Fame, where everybody would like to be there, players and fans, of course. But tell me, Terence, my question is, how has this nomination and then induction changed your life? Is it different? People recognize you on the streets?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, there's definitely the presence. I mean, the social media presence is one thing, but, you know, being out in Chicago, and especially as the NFL season is starting to kick off now, you know, next week, being at games, whether it be preseason games or going to training camp, or just anything Bear related, I'm recognized. So people will definitely recognize, and they'll see me and say, "Hey, you're Terence Young from Twitter, right? You're Terence from Twitter. You're Terence." Like, yeah. Now you got the Hall of Fame piece to it as well. So, you know, that whole connectivity is amazing. And like I said, I told people from the beginning, I said, you know, when I go in, it's not me, it's all of Bears Nation going in. And all Bears Nation went in when Don Bearman went in, and now all Bears Nation has gone in when I got inducted, and now I'm enshrined in Canton as well. So it's a family affair. It really is. But yeah, to your question, yeah, certainly there's definitely the noticeability is when I'm walking around, or if I'm, especially, you know, any Bears event, there's something related that people are like, "Hey, yeah, you're the guy that won the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. I saw your piece on Bleacher Nation, or this or that, or saw this podcast, that podcast," you know, being on your show, being able to do things like this, things I love, talk about the Bears and talk about, you know, what got me here. So it's awesome.
Thank you, my friend. Look, the Jaguars Nation Mexico is recognizing you. They say hello. Cousin Heidi says next year he will sign a jersey for me. Promise, Terence?
I got you, Heidi. I got you.
Very good. Thank you very much. You mentioned Berman. We have him here in the show too.
Yeah.
And well, just to tell you, just to let you know, I was a very active part of your campaign of induction here in Mexico. We got you all the votes from Mexican fans and from Latin American fans, and I am going to do the same for the next Bear that is going to be there. And I have another question for you later. You're going to tell me who do you think that is going to be next after you. All right. So David Pez Dragon, how are you today, my friend? I'm sure that you have questions for our celebrity tonight, Terence Young.
For sure, it's very excited to have you here. It's an honor, Terence, to have you here with us today. And I can imagine how rewarding it must be for you to have been nominated and recognized with such award. And just to put in context to our audience, just remember that only very few people in the States are nominated to participate in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And a small percentage of that get the space at Canton, Ohio. So
yeah.
I would like to understand, to know from you, what is the day by day in a life of a fan to the core? I mean, how is your interaction with the entire ecosystem you have, with the press, with other fans, with your family, with your job, with the Chicago Bears team, former play, and so on?
Sure. It's really interesting because, you know, one of the things is being a diehard Bears fan. You know, I'm probably like, you know, hundreds of thousands of other fans out there that love their team to the core, do a lot to represent their team on the field. I think one of the things that distinguishes me as a fan is, you know, I don't wear any mask, or I don't wear, you know, I don't have a costume. I don't have an alter ego that I go like I'm Terence Young. I'm me when I go to games. And no offense to anyone that does that, because that's awesome. Like, you need fans of all walks of life. You need people to do all kinds of things. But, for me, being a diehard fan was kind of the easy part, the on the field. What I really enjoyed and what distinguishes me is the off the field stuff. So the charitable things, going to the Bears Care Gala, which supports the research for pancreatic cancer and breast cancer, and going to multiple events of players, players past and present that had events within the Chicagoland area. So supporting them through their charitable arms and things that they want to do and connect, whether it be with children within the city, or whether it be with feeding the hunger, books for schools, whatever it is. So always trying to contribute, always trying to be in the presence, always trying to be within the community and do things that I can do to help improve not only the Chicago Bears, but obviously the community. So anything that I do is always Bears related. People always kind of joke around. My schedule is built around the Bears. I mean, other than, my job, and even my job, everyone knows is like when I'm not at work, I'm doing something more than likely Bears related. I'm traveling to an away game. I'm going to, whatever it is, it's something usually Bears related. And that kind of just like interwoven into my life, but it's something that, I love to do. My wife and I, we travel all the time. We go to away games. We're season ticket holders since 2008 here in Chicago. We support the Bears to the core, but, we're always going to be there. I'm always going to be there to do what I can to support the Chicago Bears in any way possible.
Thank you, Terence. And you say that you're always going to be there. And now that's a literal statement. You're always going to be there even after you're gone.
Right.
So that's great. You're going to be in Canton even after you're gone. The man who represents us all, Terence Young, is talking to us right now here in Yarda Cero. And we have a Bears fan, and I know that he has a question, Roberto El Oso Pirata. But first, I want to say a couple of shout outs to my friend Jason Miller, my brother from another mother. I love you, man. All the way to Oklahoma. He was a very active part of your campaign as well.
Appreciate you,
DJP is here. Luis Orozco is here. DJP has a question. How was your path to Canton? You can answer that after Roberto's question. Luis Antonio Orozco Pinedo. Hello, my friend. Thank you very much. Cousin Haiti, of course, is always here. He's always around. Thank you, Haiti, for being so supportive. Cousin Haiti has her own show now with NFL Girls. It's Bears related, and it would be great if you could be there one day with all of this part, the feminine part of the NFL here in Mexico. It would be great.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure that Roberto El Oso Pirata is holding the tears in because he's very excited, as I am, and I'm sure that he has a question. Dear Roberto, good evening, and what's your question for our celebrity tonight, Terence Young?
Well, first, welcome, and for me it was an honor. And I want to ask you, all my questions are about how your love to the team was growing with the time, because I know not all the people know your story, but I want to question this. Sure. It's the year 1983 in New Jersey. A guy of 9 years old was watching the TV, and he was playing the number 34, the Sweetness.
Right.
What did you feel when you see Walter Payton running the ball?
Somebody did his homework, huh?
So that, first, I'm ultra impressed. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, you got it to the T. Peyton was my guy. I grew up in New Jersey, or as we call it, Jersey. Never was a big Giants fan or Jets fan growing up. Walter Payton was my guy. So I idolized him on the field, off the field, just the things he did. Got to see him a lot just on like Monday Night Football. And it seemed like I got to see him more than not, even though I probably only saw him like a small handful of times in 83. But then fast forward, it just grew and grew. And it was like, now I was a dedicated little Bears fan. And by the time we got to 85, I'm in middle school and we did a Super Bowl shuffle. So during the Super Bowl shuffle, so here you have like 15 of us on stage, 15, 10, 11, 12-year-olds standing on stage doing the Super Bowl shuffle. Of course, I did the part of Walter Payton. And we came in second place. I still say we got robbed. The teachers, they couldn't let little kids from New Jersey come in, first place. But we blew everyone out. I don't even know who won, honestly. But we definitely were the top act in that middle school. It grew and grew from there. So that was like from middle school, and it just soared from there.
Very good,
Thank you.
Terence. That's a great story. I mean, eventually it was going to pop out the question, how did you become a Bears fan? But thank you very much, Roberto. He already put it on the table, and Terence, our celebrity tonight, already answered to that question. We have a lot of statements here from the fans. It says it's really amazing, all the contributions that Terence with the community. I am really impressed. Thank you very much to the Jaguars Nation for being here in the show, dear Terence. No one else. I mean, we were talking about it backstage. Mike Singletary gave you the news that you were a finalist in the Hall of Fans.
Yeah.
How did you feel? Tell us a little bit about this moment.
Yeah. So, just real quick, the reason I got to meet Mike that day, December 6th, after our unfortunate loss to Arizona, the Bears called me in and they said, we want to do a welcome back to fans. We want to do an interview with you, walk you around a stadium, private tour, have you sit in your seats, your season ticket seats, and we're going to ask you some questions. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm thinking, well, this is December 6th. Why are they doing a welcome back to fans, in December? But I'm like, whatever. I'm going to Soldier Field. It's cool. So I go back. They have me walk through. They do a little interview in the club area, and then they have me walk down the tunnel where the players come out. So I'm walking out the tunnel. I get to the end of the tunnel. I look to my right. I see on the north scoreboard, Ford Hall of Fans. And I'm like, I don't think about it, because not even 5 seconds later, out of the corner of my eye, Samurai Mike comes out. And I just kind of turn, and I'm like, hey, Mike. I had no other words. I mean, I knew
Shocking.
who he was. I had met Singletary a couple times before, but he didn't know me. I of course know him, but I was like shocked. And when I saw him, now everything started connecting. I'm like, wait a minute. This is the version almost of the knock. So at that point, I knew something big was about to happen. He congratulated me. He's like, Terence, congratulations, you're a finalist in the Ford Hall of Fans, class of 2022. You're a dedicated fan. He's like, we pour our hearts on the field, every Sunday, but it's fans like you that get us through it. But, so he's telling me this story, and I'm like, dude, like, I'm just a fan of yours. Like, I love your play. I'm like, just don't hit me across the middle. That's all I'm saying. So at that moment, I mean, we connected, and, we shared a bunch of stories. A lot of footage, a lot of video stuff, and some, just some little outtakes and things that we did. But I mean, super cool moment to spend that time in Soldier Field with a Hall of Famer, Mike Singletary. Unbelievable.
Who did you get to meet in the induction party?
And which one?
Yeah.
Which one? What party?
Yeah. Who did you get to meet in the induction party?
Oh, so you're talking about for the
players.
Oh, I mean, dude, it was everybody. It was almost who didn't we? But at the induction, obviously you had the whole class. So you had Bryant Young, Dick Vermeil, you had Leroy Butler, who, let me tell you a real quick funny story about Leroy Butler, a Packer, right? So it's like there can't be love between Bears and Packers, and there's not. But I told him, I was like, dude, I respect your play, man. And I tell you what, he was so complimentary about Justin in this upcoming season. Obviously he knows Luke with Getsy, so he's talking about him a little bit too with the offensive coordinator. So, a lot of things, like we kind of bonded a little bit there. But I said, I can't root for your boys. I still don't like your boys. He's like, no, I know. He's like, I don't like your boys either, right? He's like, yeah, I get it. But no, everybody there. I mean, Richard Seymour, big what's the tackle? Jaguars. It's eluding me right now. That got in.
Maybe the Yarda Nation can tell us.
Yeah. But every inductee that got in was super cool. I mean, it was interesting because so 3 of us got inducted the Friday before the ceremony of the players. The players got inducted Saturday, and to see their face after we had gotten in, and I could just see on their face kind of that excitement and that nervousness and just kind of the everything coming to the fruition of what they did as players. For myself, Amy Nolan, who represented the New York Giants, and then Michael Banks, who represented the Detroit Lions. Shout out to those two, because I tell you what, I couldn't have gotten in with any better people. I mean, we are like this, so connected, so tight, to the point that we're going to the Giants game. We're going to hang out with Amy, and then we're going to the Lions game on New Year's Day. So any Bears Nation going there New Year's Day, we're going to have a good New Year's Day, New Year's Eve party and New Year's Day in Detroit. That'll be fun too.
Right. It was Tony Boselli, right?
Boselli, yes.
Yeah, it was Tony Boselli. It's the first inductee from the Jaguars.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a big night for them too.
Yes.
Dear David, we have an immortal here, and I know that you have questions for him.
Yes, I would like to understand, Terence, for me, and of course for the rest of the audience, the basics. I mean,
sure.
How this Hall of Fame award includes, in terms of, the jacket, you receive a ring, you receive a, explain us with a little bit more details around it.
Yeah, no, great question. So it all starts with a process online. So, I mean, they'll start this probably sometime next month. September. I self-nominated myself early October, but I think the contest starts early September. So you'll see it on NFL.com. They'll start advertising it on TV too. But basically, it's a form you just fill out, and it asks you some questions about your fandom, favorite player, when did you become a fan, all these different questions. And you go through it, you fill it out online, and you email it in. And then from there, it's really like you don't know. You just kind of sit and wait. And, for me, when I did it, I said, okay, I put everything in there. I'm like, this is my X number of years of being a fan since '83. I'm like, here you go. And then they called back, or they emailed me back, and they said, hey, we'd like you to send a 30-second to 45-second video of why you should be the Ford Hall of Fans class of 2022. So I did a video. From our home in Atlanta. So we spend time between Atlanta and Chicago, mostly here in Chicago. And I have the seats from the old Soldier Field mounted in the basement. So the whole basement is like a Bears cave. It's all Bear stuff. I have a sweetness bar, Bears bull table. It's like, it's all Bear stuff. So I have seats that are bolted down in the pool room. So I sat down. I was holding a replica Lombardi trophy from Super Bowl 20. And I did a whole spiel with my Peyton jersey on about why I was a diehard Bears fan. Sent the video in. They liked the video. Then they wanted pictures. They're like, hey, send us some pictures. Send us stuff that, represents you as a Bears fan, whether it be tailgating or whether it be, at games or whatever, charitable stuff that you do in the community, but we want to see, send some stuff. I said, okay. Send a slew of stuff. Next thing you know, that's when it became to the interview process. So that was when I didn't know. The Ford contacted me and said, we're trying to coordinate interviews of fellow fans that are in your same region, and we're trying to have the interviews done at Soldier Field, and we're going to get back to you. We want to do it sometime late in the winter time, like sometime in December. So I said, okay. I didn't hear anything back from them. That's when I got the call from the Bears about this welcome back the fans in Soldier Field. I didn't put the two together because they kept it so discreet. Now, of course, I know because I saw the filming crew, which I know that crew now because I've seen them all through this process since then, and they were Bleacher Nation. So shout out to Bleacher Nation. So they were amazing. And that's how I got to the point of being a finalist. So then when you get past that, now there are 5 of us. So it was, myself, it was Amy representing the New York Giants. It was Michael representing the Detroit Lions. And then you had Super Cowboy and from the Cowboys, and then you had Jesse, who represents the Denver Broncos. So all 5 of us. And all 5 of us, any of us and all of us could have and should have gotten in. You know what I mean? But there was only going to be X number that got in. And we didn't know what the process was going to be. All they told us as it got closer and closer to the Super Bowl was there's going to be an announcement on Good Morning Football. And they're going to do this in the morning, sometime around 9 o'clock Central Time. So, of course, as all the fans that watch Good Morning Football, it comes on 6 a.m. Central Time, 7 a.m. Eastern. So I can't sleep the night before. It was like a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can't sleep. Of course, I got the DVR set to record it anyway. I'm up at like 5 o'clock. I'm glued in front of it before 6. I'm watching every segment, even though I know it's not going to be the later, so they say. They get to the 9 o'clock hour, and there's nothing. And I'm listening to the segue, because they have to segue into it somehow. Nothing. Finally, Kay Adams, who's awesome, and I got to meet Kay a few times, so she's amazing. Who's now not on Good Morning Football, but she was last year. She introduces Charles Woodson to the program. So I'm like, this is going to happen now, because I remember this is Charles's piece. He does this whole piece on the fans. So all of a sudden he starts talking about the fans, and then it's the, Ford Hall of Fans, and then 2022 Ford Hall of Fans, and they do the announcement. And so there's going to be 3 people that are selected of the 5 that I mentioned before. So they start. It's like Amy Nolan representing the New York Giants, Michael Banks representing the Detroit Lions. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, I got a 33 and a third chance here. And they're like, Terence Young representing the Chicago Bears. And I hear Kay in the background. She's like, Terence. She's like, oh, we love Terence. We know Terence. And I was blown away, because I was like, it was so cool. And the reason I met her, which is kind of funny, her and Kyle Brandt, they had hosted the Bears Care Gala or it was 2018, so not right before the pandemic, but the 2018 Bears Care Gala, and they did a whole walk the orange carpet, and they were interviewing people coming through. So that's when we got to really meet, that whole, well, at least Kyle and Kay from that crew. So amazing.
Amazing
What a
story.
journey. What a journey.
What a journey into the Hall of Fans, dear Terence. Let me tell you, to all the people watching, let me tell you something, and I want to really give appreciations to our friend Terence Young. Let me tell you that he's fighting a mild laryngitis, but he was already committed, and I promised that I was going to keep the interview short, brief, because he has a sore throat. He feels a little bit under the weather, but here's Roberto with us. So let's take advantage of his commitment with the fans and ask another question, Roberto.
Okay, my question are in the way the people of Latin America know about you. If they found in an airport, in a restaurant, they have a little idea when we are talking.
Right.
This is, you vibe, you love the team. You have, I don't know, maybe top 3 players of Chicago Bears. Not the sweetness, because we know the sweetness is the number 1.
Right.
But the other three players, you say that players are, I don't know. I admire. I love that. I love the players.
So you like current players or all time?
No, the all time.
All time. Definitely Dick Butkus for sure. His tenacity was just amazing. As a player, and watching him, I was thinking to watch him. I'm not that old. I'm old, but I'm not that old. Who else? Gale Sayers. So I'm going kind of in that same generation. And then I'm gonna pick somebody that is not as far back. And see, I kind of have generations. See, that's one of the things about Bears and we Bears fans and Bear Nation. I mean, we are the most historic franchise of any franchise. So it's hard. But I'll pick someone more current. I'll say Devin Hester, of course. But I can throw Mike Brown on there. I can throw Urlacher on there. I can throw Peanut Tillman on there. Dude, it just goes on and on. It's like I almost need like a genre. Like, let's go back to the, you go to 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, like decades. But just tremendous people. And it doesn't even have to be the superstars. I mean, it could be the superstars that were the glue to the team. Like one of my favorite players, one of my all-time favorite players. And if he didn't get injured, I promise you he'd be a Hall of Famer right now, is Mike Brown. Mike Brown, number 30, the Chicago Bears. Dude, that guy played with a tenacity like you've never seen. He didn't play like a player of his generation. And they were hitting in the 2000s, but he was playing like a player back in like when Butkus was playing.
Thank you. I know. I think Mike Brown sweat blood in the field.
Yes,
it's a great player. Thank you for the answer.
Dick Butkus' son is going to host a tailgate party in San Francisco game. Are you going to attend? I mean, you're a season
I'm definitely going to try to go. It's funny. I've got a commitment to a tailgate that same day for the home opener, but I'm
Oh.
definitely going to try to go, though. I mean, I saw that. I just saw that on Twitter before jumping on the show,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. If I can find a way, I'll be there. I'll definitely be there.
All right, thank you very much. We're talking
Absolutely.
to Terence Young, the newest inductee from the Chicago Bears in the Ford Hall of Fans. Great idea from Ford to have this Hall of Fans thing. Definitely,
Yeah.
It was about time for the fans to be recognized, especially fans like Terence. Jason Miller tells us Terence needs a badass nickname now. Do you have one? Do you have one already?
I don't. Maybe we got to run like a poll or something.
Yeah, that would be great.
We'll get like the top 3, and I'll take one of the 3.
Leave it to me. I'm gonna make it happen.
Let's do it.
Right, then we
Let's
have Neil. It says, not that Terence is a Hall of Famer. Can he make a case to get Mongo in Canton? That would be great.
Yes. And let me tell you, that's definitely one of the most passionate things that I have going on. My wife and I have going on right now is getting Mongo into the Hall of Fame. Excuse me. He deserves it. He's well deserving. I mean, when you look at how he played and his stats, he matches up with anybody. And yeah, I mean, what better way to get him in? And shout out to Obvious T-shirts. I've got a couple of the Team Mongo and the Steve McMichael is a Hall of Famer shirt, and he deserves it. He definitely deserves it. So anything I can do to help get him in and do anything, I'm going to do it. And that just really is the kind of person that I am. At the end of the day, is like I said, it's not about me as the Terence Young, the Hall of Fans. It's Bears Nation and what we all do for each other and the support we have for each other. So, that's the main thing. So yeah, let's get Mongo in. Let's get him in.
That would be great. I mean, it would have been great if it had been this year,
right?
Because of the situation that he's going
Sure.
through. I mean,
Sure.
maybe when he gets in, it's gonna be too late, and I would hate to see that,
I know.
So,
but can you imagine the support though? Can you imagine what Canton will look like? And I won't even say if he gets in, when he gets in. Can you imagine the support that's going to be? It's going to be outpouring.
It's gonna happen. Terrence R. Nichols from the Chicago Bears Club podcast. Hello, my friend.
What's up, namesake?
Where is Foul Mouth? Have you been to that show already?
No, not yet. I well overdue.
Yeah.
T, text me.
It says, oh yeah, we remember this one on that draft.
Yeah.
It says, you guys know that Terence announced on TV Riley Ridley's pick. Yeah, we remember that. Maybe somebody didn't know, maybe somebody didn't follow that draft, but yeah. And well, man, Riley Ridley's not even with us anymore, and I mean, it sucks.
I know. It's sad he didn't pan out, but I tell you what, up until the whole Hall of Fans, that was by far the biggest and coolest fan thing I ever did with the Bears, was being able to announce, that 4th round pick of Riley Ridley. Just didn't work out. You know what I mean? Just didn't work out. But at the end of the day, hey, I wish him well. And, I don't know what he's doing now, but I hope he can catch on, because I still say that he should have got some more opportunities when Nagy was there, but we won't even go into all that.
Oh, don't even mention that guy to me. That guy with two active neurons in his brain. I mean, definitely he spoiled the team a little bit. Well, anyway, Terence says, my guy is overdue. Let's make it happen. Yeah, I've been to the show already. It was great. I mean, they are a great crew, great guys. Well, Terence, before we start talking about Bears football, my last question regarding the Hall of Fans is, who do you think that's going to be next after you? I mean, know a lot of fans. Who would you like it to be there?
There are a lot. Like I've said, there are so many diehard Bears fans, so many people that do a lot, whether it be for the community or whether it be from just, tailgating, inviting people in, just kind of that whole, just unification. But there's one guy that sits out. And here's the other thing too, guy or girl, doesn't matter. But the one person that stands out to me is Bear Mysterio. Bear Mysterio is the one person that stands out to me in terms of someone that, I mean, the dude is he's raw, man. I mean, he's a fun dude. He is a fun dude, and he's got the passion. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. So, I mean, I look at him and I say he's definitely deserving of it. And hey, you know what? He makes that run. You never know. He might be the third in there. I already said we got the most Hall of Fans in there right now, right? Just like the Pro Football Hall of Fame, we have the most Hall of Famers. We got the most Ford Hall of Fans now too, with me and Don. So hey, let's bring a third one in there. Let's go.
And all of them have been in this show already.
See, look at that. See, there's something about it.
It says Terence says Loki should be next. Thank you very much. I already have a vote.
Well, dude, Loki, if you commit, I'm down, brother.
Thank you very much, my friend. Philotochan would be great too, right?
Oh yeah,
that would be great too. Then it says, yeah, he deserves to be in. I assume that Neil is talking about Mongo. He's gonna be there eventually, definitely.
Yeah.
So, David, do you want to start talking about Bears football with our friend Terence Young? I know that he's feeling a little bit under the weather, but maybe bourbon is making it better. So
I'm good.
So let's go, David.
It was just the laryngitis. Like that, no sore throat. No, I just just lost the voice. That's all.
Yeah, it should have been a great weekend, right?
Yeah, it was good.
David.
Great. Yeah. I guess it's time, Terence, to bring the hard questions to the table. So I would love to hear from you. Chicago Bears predictions for the 2022 seasons.
Oh, very direct.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Okay. So I can't waver off of my preseason prediction coming into this show. I said it on another podcast, right? I said it on Brandon's. I've said it to people all preseason from the draft all the way to now. I'm not going to waver from it, but give me the week one, get me through week one, and then I'll revisit it. Right now, Bears 7-10.
7-10. All right, Roberto.
Okay.
Well, we know this is one of your favorite players right now, but we want to know, what do you think about the Roquan Smith issues? The problem around
the contract issues.
The contract, yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Rose, my dude. I know Ro. We got the Georgia ties there too. He's just a good
dogs.
Dude. Go dogs. Let me tell you, football obviously is a business, right? There's issues. Could not get him to a long-term deal during the before the season started. Rowe is going to play for that contract. I hope it's going to be with Chicago. I think at the end of the day, Ryan Poles is going to look and say, yeah, this dude balled out. Because the one thing Rowe won't do, he's not going to slack. He's not going to let his teammates down. That's not the type of player Rowe is. Rowe play. I mean, he even said at the press conference, Rowe plays for the guys on the sideline. The guy that he's with on the field, those other 10 guys that are playing with him on defense and the other 11 on offense, that's who he's playing for. So he's going to ball out. There's no doubt. Rowe will be a Pro Bowler this season, 1. 2, he's going to earn that contract. I just hope it's here in Chicago because I know he wants to stay here. I truly believe he wants to stay here.
Well, a question is, what do you think if Roquan say, I don't want to play with the Chicago Bears the next year, and the Bears tag him with the franchise tag? What happened?
Well, I mean,
we have done it before.
Yeah, I mean, they've done that. I mean, I think Rowe honors it. I think he plays it out. I mean, he's not going to want to, but I don't think he'll sit out. I don't think he'll sit out. I mean, there's too much on the line. 1, there's too much money on the line. 2, you got to look at what's next for Rowe. So if Rowe's looking to go somewhere, he doesn't want to take a year off. You don't want to do the Le'Veon Bells of back in the day, running back and set out, and then where's he now type thing. He'll play. But I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope it doesn't come to the franchise tag. But if it does, I think he will play out the contract, and then they have to make a decision. You're either going to extend him or he's going somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. In my opinion, I think that Roquan didn't play it very well. I mean, maybe that's one of the consequences of not having an agent, But well, anyway, maybe he got a little bit rushed into releasing these statements, and I think that it happened like that. But anyway,
no doubt.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, dear Terence. Thank you very much. We're talking with Terence Young, the newest inductee into the Hall of Fame, into the Ford Hall of Fame from the Chicago Bears. And I'm going to ask you, Braxton Jones, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker.
Yeah.
Brisker, and my man Velus Jones, our first 4 picks. Do we expect immediate impact from these guys?
I think you do, especially from the defensive guys. You know, when you're looking at Gordon and Brisker, I think you're gonna see a lot. I think you saw a little bit. I mean, I know Gordon was hurt, Brisker got hurt at the end with the thumb, but he came back. I really like Brisker. I like him a lot, to the point where I usually don't buy rookies' jerseys. I bought his jersey, so I'll be rocking that at one of the first couple home games. But yeah, I really like him, and I like Gordon a lot too. And I think Velus Jones Jr. I like what he brings in the speed department. You know, wide receivers tough. Again, you know, I go back to the Riley Ridley. I'm not trying to compare him at all. I think Velus Jones Jr. is going to have a tremendous career, and I hope he does. But it's hard when you're a rookie because you got to pick up the blocks. You can't just be a guy out there just running patterns, because if you can't block, you can't pick up the blocking scheme. You know, Fluke's going to sit you on the bench. But I think he's good. He's the type of guy that's going to be able to do it, though. I'm just looking forward to seeing it, though. But offensive guys are always a little bit slower coming along when you're a rookie. Defensive guys, you can plug in. You got speed. You hit. You fly to the ball. Good thing. So I look for probably more success from the defensive side of our rookies than the offense. But, you know, hey, let's see. I mean, let's get both sides. We get both sides. My prediction is 7-10. I start flipping at the 10-7, maybe even north of 10, but that's another story.
It's gonna depend a lot on San Francisco's game, David, because after San Francisco we have Green Bay. That, well, it's on the table that we might lose that game, but then we have the Texans and we have the Giants, which are very, very winnable games. So I think that it will depend a lot. We might enter week 5 with 4 wins. I mean, or 3 wins if we can beat San Francisco 49ers. David, we are coming to an end to this interview. We are very happy, but I know that you have more questions for our friend Terence Young.
Yes. I love what the team did at the draft and the free agency in around the defense.
Right.
But as a not a Bear fan, sorry, I have some questions around the wide receivers space. Do you think that the current players are, strong enough to fulfill the open spaces that Allen Robinson left?
In the end, I think they can as a collective group. Not one person necessarily, but when you look at Robinson's season last year, and I love A-Rob, his last season was not his best, and he'll tell you the same thing. But that being said, A-Rob is a professional. A-Rob can catch anything in pretty much 4 feet radiuses. What I like about this group is it's not a group that you know by name, but you know what I mean? But the way they play, I'm telling you, this group can be special. And then all of a sudden you start finding out a little bit more about some of the, quote unquote unknown receivers we have. We don't have like the big name receiver other than, we got Mooney. But then outside of him, Byron Pringle we got from Kansas City. We're building. But the thing is, if these guys play to their potential, then we'll be fine. You don't have to have the name as long as you go out and you do every time you're out there. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. And it's kind of what I was alluding to before with the record. Week 1 is such an important week going to that San Francisco game. Playing at home, against Trey Lance. We get to see our defense against them. We get to see our offense against that defense. It should be one heck of a game, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what we can do. And I'm optimistic that we can go in there and get that W on week 1. I know we can.
Are we sure it's going to be Trey Lance?
Yeah, well, I know with Jimmy G signing that 1-year deal. Yeah, it's going to be Trey Lance. Jimmy G is going to make. He's going to make 6.5 or more with the incentives $1 million a year, and he probably won't be on the field unless something happens to Trey. Yep. But yeah, they're riding with Trey all the way. Yeah, they're riding with Trey. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's a great question though. But a lot of people ask that, and that's one of the things I think. As long as they come out and just play within themselves as a group, they can make up for what we lost in Allen Robinson.
And you already have the jewelry of the crown in the with Justin Fields now with a renewal quarterback. So great. Just week 1 is going to be tough for us as well. We are facing Bengals, so
yeah,
it's going to be tough.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna be tough, but thankfully Chicago Bears has one of the easiest schedules in the league this year, so that's gonna count for something. Roberto,
Sure.
I know that you have questions for Terence. We are coming to an end, but we have here we have a petition, a request that said, oh, where is it? Oh, here it is.
Oh,
That's the ring of a Hall of Fame fan. Look at that. Does it have your name on it? Of course it does.
yeah. So let's see if I can.
Wow.
Side. So
Holy shit, look at that. That's great, my friend.
and then
Amazing.
then that's the flip side.
There it is. There it is, the class of 2022.
Yeah.
In our marketing and promotion, we put class of 2021, but yeah, we were wrong. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
Thank
Hey,
God.
You know what? As long as I was in one of the classes, I'm good.
Thank God we spelled the name correctly at least.
Yeah.
Dear Roberto, questions for our immortal Terence Young.
Yes. All the fans of Chicago Bears are worried about the offensive system. What do you see in these 3 games with Luke Getsy? Do you like the work of Luke Getsy?
I do. You know what? To me, and again, it's preseason. A lot of vanilla defense, right? We're not our offense. We're not throwing a whole lot of stuff out there right now. But I saw things out there in the preseason that I didn't see the former regime do in the regular season. So it's refreshing to me. Like I like what they're doing. Okay, first of all, they utilize Justin's skills and his skill set. So you have a quarterback. Why would you not run an offense that tailors that quarterback? You know, you don't put a square peg in a round hole, right? Like Justin does all of these things really, really well. Let's do all these things then. Don't recreate the wheel. So I like what Luke does, and I can tell already the bond that Luke has with Justin is already it's already bond and it's gelling because they I think they think on the same terms. They're on the same page. Will there be some bumps in the road? Of course. He's a second-year guy, and Justin, which really you might as well call him a rookie because he was out there last year and he did get the experience, but he's in my opinion he's learned a whole lot more than he did when he was with the former regime. So yeah, no, I think we're in a much better place, and I like what I see so far. Again, albeit that it's preseason, so you don't get a whole lot.
Yes, I think he understands the work, and we can roll out with Justin Fields, but Justin Fields can stay in the pocket, and we saw that. We saw 2 tight ends. We saw fullback. I think Getsy's return to the basics.
Yeah,
and the team are understand that, and I see a different offensive to Chicago in these games, and I like a lot.
We're gonna start playing like old NFC Central games. Back when we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in our division. We're getting back to those days. I love it though. I love it. I think this is a very exciting time for Chicago Bears fans. And one of the things that I've said is curb some of the enthusiasm, but be enthusiastic.
Yeah.
And basically, all that means is let's have fun this season. I mean, whatever this team ends up, they're going to end up. But I guarantee you, every game, all 17 games, are going to be fun to watch. Much more fun than we saw last year and over the last couple of years. So, I mean, that alone is going to get us where we want to be. And then, not to look to next year, but check out the salary cap if you haven't checked it out.
Yes.
Check out the draft picks. We start getting back ones. I mean, we're going to start being in position where we can do some things that we've never had a chance to do before. So it's a good time to be a Chicago Bear fan right now.
Terence, one thing, I don't know if you agree with me, one of the things that I hadn't seen in years, especially in the 4 years that Matt Nagy was with us, now you can see something that you didn't see during the last regime, is competition amongst the players.
Absolutely.
Your jersey and your name, they don't play in the field. You know what? You're going to earn your place in the field.
Right.
Now, that's why our second and our third team has looked really well during preseason, right?
Right. And that's just it. I mean, when you look at second and third teams, you're definitely going to have, they're playing against most of these second and third teams. So there's some of that. But you also have, to your point, Logie, you have guys that are out there playing for the front of the jersey. They're playing for the Bears. They're not playing for the name on the back. And it kind of goes to the wide receiver position that I mentioned before with you, Pez. It's the same thing. It's like, these guys are just out here to play. Like, they want to play, they want to ball, they want to win. And if you have that same mentality, and you have 53 guys that have that same mentality, and the coaching staff that's over that, and then a general manager and leadership that brings it all down, that's what you want. I mean, these guys want to play, and as long as they keep that hunger all season, we're going to be in a real good position this year.
We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. The hate from the media,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Now, who do you think, David, that is in Mexico City? In Mexico City, in one of the most prestigious universities in the country, that is Instituto Politécnico Nacional, Mike Singletary is right now in Instituto Politécnico Nacional. He's here in Mexico.
Really?
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's here.
Wow.
He's here with the American football team of the Poly.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Wow.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's great. We have questions from the audience. We are coming to an end. It was a very nice time we spent with Terence Young. Mr. Young, it's an honor to have you here on the show. Congrats for your induction into the Hall of Fans. Very nice.
Oh, appreciate you, Eder. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Eder Morales is no older than 16, if I remember correct. I have met in the parties that we organize here to watch the games in Mexico. He's nice. One hell of a kid, and now you're a fan.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Bear down.
What happened, Roberto? Did you fall?
No, it started raining, and I have opened my windows.
It started raining. That's good.
In Monterrey, we don't have water. We have a problem with the water, and it's raining. And I say, I go to take a shower in the rain, but now.
Thank you. David, thank you very much for being here. One last question or one last thing to say to our immortal Terence Young.
No, I just really appreciate this space, Terence. It was an honor, it was a pleasure to hear from you, all the experience, all the journey, all the, all the stuff around your life and the Hall of Fame journey. So I'm very delighted to have you here with us and just have a big thanks to you.
Hey, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. Like I said, it's an honor to be on the show. Lots of fun, and hey, let's do it again too. Like I said, let's connect during the season as well. So anytime, love to be back on and love to connect with all of your fans as well too. It's a good time for sure.
Thank you, Terence. This is a very good one, Terence. We are going to be in the Dallas game.
Oh, we'll be there.
You're going to be there?
Yeah.
Well, we can meet, definitely.
Yeah.
Jason and I are going to be there.
The plans are Dallas, Atlanta, New York, both New York games.
Awesome.
I think that's it. Yeah,
that's great. And especially
in Detroit.
And that's great, especially because we are going to win both New York games.
Absolutely. And we're going to win in Dallas too. So
yeah. And we're going to win in Dallas. Roberto, thank you very much. We also appreciate that you were here talking to Terence Young. We know that you have your own show. You were also a guest of honor tonight. So something else that you want to tell Terence before we go?
Yes, that's thank you. And I never have the opportunity to go to Chicago to a game. When I go, I want to know you in person.
Absolutely. We'll connect for sure.
Well, a little more question. I think about Chicago is playing right now, in my opinion, like Moneyball.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I think they have the men's, not the names.
Right.
What do you think about that? You think I'm right or I don't know?
I think a lot of that's true. I think it's like what we were talking about before. It's playing for the Bears. It's not playing for the name on the back of the jersey. So, we got a couple of superstars in the making, and soon we're going to get more of them. But right now, we are a team of just hungry individuals that want to get out there and want to win. And I think that's what we're going to see this season. So, I think the Moneyball thing is perfect. It's a perfect analogy when we talk about the Oakland A's. That's exactly what we look like.
Taking into consideration that we are going to be the team with the highest salary cap next year. I mean, exactly. This is going to be fun to watch. Terence, the last thing that I want to tell you is Thank you. I appreciate that you had the chance to be here and that you took me on the invitation. And I want to tell you something. For me, it's very important. I already told John Wachter this when he was in our show. Thank you very much, because I see in you the one who represents us all. Thank you very much for that.
I appreciate it, Loki. Like I said, anytime, my brother, man, let me know. I will join the show at any point. So just reach out to me and let's connect again. Awesome time. And hey, man, let's go Bears. Let's win a few games this year.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias a toda la gente que nos vio el día de hoy. Estuvimos con Terence Young, nuestro propio Hall of Famer, aquí en Yarda Cero. Los esperamos el miércoles siguiente con el previo del partido Bills contra Rams, el season opener de la temporada 2022. Muchísimas gracias a todos. Muchísimas gracias a Heidi, Jason, Eder, todas las personas que nos vio y los cientos de personas que nos van a ver en las repeticiones. Muchísimas gracias, Terence. Give me 1 minute in the backstage. Have an excellent game. Have an excellent season, all of you. See you next week.
Bye-bye.